We're on the Country versus Metal podcast with Nick Brumley. How you doing today?
Good. How y'all doing?
Oh, dude, doing good. Weather's getting nicer, and can I
Yeah,
go
no
outside?
joke. Yeah, it's finally it's enjoyable now, or has been. Where we live in Hamilton, it's extremely windy, but I can deal with that with the cool weather.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of like as I get older, I'm like getting over seasons. Kind of understanding why people move to Florida in the South.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me to move to Florida.
Now, yeah,
We used to do a bunch of runs over there. I played with this girl, Maggie Kerner, and we go to Pensacola a lot. And been to Orlando, Jacksonville, but I like Texas and Louisiana.
yeah.
I like those two places.
Now you're from like kind of like you can claim both sides.
Basically, like it's fun. Like I was born in Midland, Texas, but like I spent most of my life in Marshall, Texas, which is like 25 miles from Shreveport, Louisiana. And I spent a lot of my musical life there in Louisiana. Had a hard time playing for folks in East Texas, so I took it to Louisiana and Arkansas, and it worked out pretty good. And I met a lot of great friends, but love the culture there, love it. And Shreveport has such a rich country music history, and it was cool just to be a part of that for about a decade. So.
Yeah, I'm trying. Is that where like Muscle Shoals is around?
Muscle Shoals is in Alabama.
Uh,
So it's like Florence and then Muscle Shoals, like everything's split by the river over there. But I got a lot of good friends that they play a lot of session work. They have session work over there in Muscle Shoals, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, good folks, man. Talented people.
yeah, it's people that can do session work. They're just monsters.
They're a different
crazy.
breed.
Yeah.
It's funny when you go in to record a record, like, and then, the producer or engineer will call in these session guys, and they're like light years beyond what I've learned, and just so talented. And the way they talk is almost in code, but but it's I try to learn from them a lot, being in the studio. But great players. Fantastic players.
Yeah, it's like my first experience in a recording studio. And I had an acoustic. The guy's like, I want you to play like a wiper blade, all downstrokes."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I can't do that. And this dude he goes, "I got it," and like playing like how you played when you're like a kid. It was incredible.
Oh yeah.
He never met it. I was like, my muscle memory will not. It just won't allow it. But this guy was like, he was like a robot. He goes, "What do you need?" Boom. And like when you
had it, yeah.
Yeah, and when you hum to a session player and they just translate it into exactly what you want, which is great because time in the studio is money.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's why they're so valuable, because they pick it up so quick. I mean, the still players that we've worked with in the studio like blow my mind, and the drummers too. Like I always believe a drummer is the most important asset to a band.
Yeah.
Like they make or break it, and rhythm section first, and then everything else on top of it. But we've had the privilege of working with a lot of great players. Brian Bacon, he plays with Robert Earl King. Pat Mansky, he's the engineer over there at the Zone Studios in Dripping Springs, and he plays with Joe Ely. There's a lot of Texas heroes, Super cool.
Now, have you ever tried to play pedal steel? Is it as humbling as an experience?
Oh man, no.
As I heard?
Well, so we had our steel player with us today. He's from Shreveport. His name's Logan Hall, and it's funny. Like every now and then, like if he's not behind it, I'll try to creep up and try to play it, and realize I have no idea what I'm doing. Like it's a different beast for sure. And he'll tell you it's the easiest thing to learn, but I think he's full of shit.
Yeah, I'm the same. I was like, oh, let me look what like the price of admission is to even like see if I could play it. You know, you get like the squire of the pedal steel, and you're like, oh yeah, that'll be $5,000. So it's kind of like,
Oh yeah, it's kind of like getting an upright bass. Like it's an expensive piece of furniture.
yeah,
I was trying to look up because I actually wanted one for here at the house, and the cheapest one I found that would be worth playing was like $2,000. I was like, yeah, I'll save that.
yeah,
But maybe one day someone will give me one.
yeah. Or again, an endorsement. But yeah, I play all the time.
I got a buddy who like remodels K upright basses. He's got like 5 of them there in Shreveport, but he hasn't given me a price yet. So I'm pretty sure he knows I can't afford it. So that's why we cut communication.
That's funny because you, like when I was googling you today, you pretty much anything with strings, bass and guitar.
Yeah, well, anything that anybody needs, I try to, learn. I think the moment you get satisfied with music is when you need to quit. So I'm always trying to learn new things, and I play banjo, mandolin, guitar, play bass, and just try to. I fake the drums. I wouldn't hire me to play drums or keys, but I can definitely hit the C note.
Oh, and the keys, all the white keys.
All the white ones, man. if you're in the key of C, I got you.
Yeah, that's funny.
You can't miss.
Yeah, I always tell people that. I said, just play all the white keys. You're playing in the C, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter." I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
it does. It does, but
Yeah, right.
there are all wrong notes in the key of C for sure.
Yeah.
I got a buddy who he thinks the key of C harmonica. So the key of C, they call it the universal key, just because it's all the white keys on the piano. Well, it doesn't work that way with harmonica. Like there are wrong notes, and he'll bring out that harmonica. Oh man, it's key of C. It's the universal key, and we'll be like F or B flat. Like, it just sounds awful, but it's fun. He's a good time. He plays washtub too.
Nice.
Washtub bass, so super cool. Where are you out of? Where are you from?
Delaware.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Is that where you're at right now?
Yeah.
Get out of here. That's cool.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like I was getting a lot of texts this weekend, being like, "Are you in Stillwater? You're in Stillwater." I'm like, man, I was like, Oklahoma and like Idaho and all those places out there that have these cool festivals. They don't want visitors, it seems. Because I would have to like fly somewhere, drive five hours. I'm just like,
It's no, they do like. I think they're a lot nicer than Californians are. But that's just my opinion. Nothing against anybody from California if you're listening, but yeah, man, the farthest north I've been is Bethesda, Maryland.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We went up there. We were helping a buddy move, but it was cool. It was so crazy to see how close everything was, because Texas, everything's so spread out.
Yeah.
Like a 3-4 hour drive is nothing to us.
Yeah.
And it seems like, I mean, hell, you can be probably in New York City in 4 hours, huh? Or less.
Probably an hour and 40.
An hour and 40, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would take the train. But yeah, I'm like, yeah. It's funny is I have some friends that just, they've never, prior to doing band, they'd never been anywhere. And he was like, "Hey, man, did you know New York City's like less than 2 hours away?" I'm like, "Yeah, everybody knows that." And he goes, "I thought it was like 5 hours away." And he's like, "Why aren't we playing up there?" I'm like, that's what I've been saying, besides the horror of driving a van up there, which I've done. It's somebody not paying attention. He end up in the Bronx with a big Ford pickup truck hauling a band trailer. And, like, we'll just make a U-turn. I'm like, where?
Is it you think it's a hard scene to break into?
Up New York. No, New York has like they got like a honky tonk scene and everything, and they like country up there. I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know if how like guys from Texas would do around there, but they definitely like we have like I mean up north. It's funny is I played a show with Brian Martin, and he's like, "This is as far north as I've ever been." I was like, "Dude, I would not consider this the north," but it was like a line dancing place. He was just really surprised that it filled itself with belt
You talking
buckles.
about the Brian from Logansport?
Yeah, he's from Louisiana.
Yeah,
I know
okay.
you have a friend, Brian Martin, from Arkansas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a. So the Brian you're talking, he spells it with a Y,
Yeah.
but he's from Logansport. He's from like 40 miles from where I lived in Marshall. So he plays in Shreveport a lot. Sells out the Louisiana Grandstand. I mean, when he comes into town, he puts on a show. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's how I kind of got into listening to country music because I'm really good friends with his manager. Well, his manager at the time. I don't know if he's still managing him. And he's like, "Hey man, I need a guitar player, like tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay, what am I playing?" He's like, "Country," and he sent me his set list. And they don't have who sings them. It's just a song, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like Troubadour. I was like, who's George Strait? I was like, don't. He's like, don't be telling me that. And I said, I need to know who sings these songs. I got to practice these songs. And I just remember I was playing them out in the parking lot all the way up until before the show. And I asked him, I said, man, I feel like that George Jones, he stopped loving her today. I feel like he shifts the capo or changes keys. And
Yeah,
he was like,
he changes keys.
yeah. And I was like, he's like, man, it's just like how you, it was something like, it's just how you remember hearing it. I'm like, this is like the third time I've heard this. I said, I'm
It's so
so
wild to be. It's so crazy.
Yeah, he was like, you've never heard George Jones? I was like, I've never heard the name. Like, any of them, any of the greats. The only great I heard, any legend, was Willie Nelson, because Bill Hicks did a comedy skit of when he got sued by the IRS, because he said the only person that he ever said was okay to do ads was Willie Nelson, because he owed like $14 million, when he was doing the Taco Bell ads. And I'd seen him in some movies before, and he just has like the kind of personality that just gets out there, just with his jokes and everything. But other than that, like Merle
I
Haggard,
love Bill Hicks.
yeah,
Like,
it's just
I forgot about him until you brought him up. Like, I was trying to tell somebody about him the other night, drunk at a bar. I was like, I can't remember his name. But man, he was like one of those fun, angry comedians.
yeah.
But like had a point to everything he said. I love Bill Hicks. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to go watch some YouTube videos when we get off this podcast.
Nice.
Bill
Oh,
Hicks,
dude.
man.
His stuff is great. It's a shame he was treating cancer with like Pepto-Bismol and antacids, and just gone way too soon.
Well, he was like a heavy cigarette smoker too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's one of the greats for sure. That nobody really brings up, So that's cool. Bill, I'm gonna go back and watch some of his videos, man.
Yeah, he's got some great material, and just sometimes it is cool to kind of like forget about something and turn it on. It's kind of like new to you again.
Yeah, it's like, well, explaining to somebody like George Carlin. It's like that's Bill Hicks, like the next generation of the George Carlins, or Sam Kinison was kind of the same way.
I love how he made that like a showcase. When he
He's
would
getting mad.
Yeah, when he would bring out with the girls with the telephone, and he would be like, "Tell me about your ex-wife, ex-girlfriend," and he would call them up, like, "Listen here." I was like, I loved it, just how different it was, like the Sam Kinison like rock and roll comedy. He really put like theatrics to it, and other than but being in a smoky dark room in one mic, that works as well. But he just had that personality where he could just blow out a stadium.
Oh yeah. I've never been to a comedy show. I'd like to go one. I just, what scares me to death is like a lot of people do crowd work now, and I don't want to sit front row
Yeah.
because I feel like I'd be the one getting picked on.
Yeah. It's funny is that I was dating a girl, same thing. I said, listen, this comic doesn't do crowd work. They have a set. They don't deviate from it. Blah, blah. I've seen him a bunch of times. Well, what I didn't tell her was the comedian is my cousin. And I sent him I said, roast the girl I'm with. But I had just shaved. I've never shaved my head. I just shaved my head. And she started going in on me. And I was like, okay, where are we going with this? And she just looked in, she's like, "Oh my god!" It was during COVID, so I said hi to her with the mask, and she was like, I didn't know it was you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "I don't care. I'm an easy target. What am I gonna do?"
Yeah, I guess a lot of us bald guys are, very easy targets.
But now for like your show, are you like do you prefer listening rooms or clubs?
It depends, I do love a good listening room, especially if like you're playing your own material. But I definitely love I love getting rowdy, in certain bars and stuff. But now, yeah, I definitely prefer listening rooms now. Yeah, it's a whenever I was first growing up playing and getting into bars, and that's the life you thought it was, just rock and roll. Let's get drunk and get rowdy and stuff. And now that I'm older, I'm like, y'all can have that. I kind of just want to put on my own show in the backyard kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of really good listening rooms around here in Texas. A lot of them. And getting to play with a lot of great artists that I, get to, that I'm blessed to play with, like Race and Presley Hale and Niles and stuff. Like, I wouldn't say we're spoiled, but we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was on your Instagram today, I was like,
Presley's?
Or, what is your screen?
Brumdog Millionaire?
Yeah, I was like, man, that's clever. But I was like, cool. I like this song. I was like, man, she's got a great voice. And then I looked down. I was like, Presley Hill. I was like, I've done a bunch of her songs lately, and I've heard her name.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have brought her up and like, you need to check her out. And then I saw that you guys are dating.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have like a prenup? Like if something happens, we're not allowed to sing songs about each other? Because that could be a dangerous situation.
Man, that's a part of the thing. It's like, there's been songs that have been written, but it's like you can't get offended by them because, you got to look at them like as portraits, as paintings.
Yeah.
It's an art, so you can't get mad about it. Like, whatever inspires you to write in that moment, and go do it. Like, if I didn't do the dishes, like, yeah, get mad about it and write a song.
It's almost like you can do stuff like that to help her. I mean, that's the excuse I'd be making.
Now, I don't wake up saying like, let's see how I can, mess her day up so where she writes a song and I have to play it for the rest of my life. No, it doesn't go that way. But, I don't get mad at the ones that, she writes that are inspired by some catastrophe,
Yeah.
I'm not, it is what it is. Now, I wouldn't write one about it. Try to stay out of that department,
Yeah. Is there ever any moments where somebody says something or something happens and it's a race to the notepad? You're like, oh, really. That's an idea for a song.
I don't think so. I mean, not really. I mean, late at night sometimes, for sure. And there's Presley. She just walked in.
Sorry.
No, I don't think. No, we don't usually it's always. I try to joke about. Have you ever seen Walk Hard?
Oh, with I guess the remake with The Rock.
John C. Riley.
John C. Riley. I don't know.
The Dewey Cox story.
Oh no.
Oh, you got to watch
I was
that.
thinking Walking Tall or something.
No,
yeah,
not.
I've only seen parts. It's
Yeah, so this joke ain't gonna go over well then if you hadn't seen it. But he has this moment where he's like, "Oh, that's a song," and like his wife is leaving him, and he's like, "Oh, what was the line?" It was like, because remember, she's leaving. She's like, no, he told her. He said, "You can take my kids, but you can't take my monkey."
Here's my monkey.
It was.
I have dreams too.
I have dreams too. I told you I can't make you a house made of candy. It'll melt. You gotta watch that. It's hilarious. But there's a point where like it's very serious and she's leaving him, and she says some line to him, and he's like, it hits him. He's like, he starts singing the song. She's like, "Don't you write a song right now, Dewey Cox?" And sometimes there are those moments where it's intense, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a song right there." She'd be like, Don't you get in that mode? We're having serious convo right now." But she's a lot smarter at it, though. She'll sit there and not tell me that she's writing it as we're arguing, and then 2 days later, there's this brilliant song, you know?
that sounds awfully familiar.
Oh, you've had those experiences?
I was watching Talbot and Soul Gravy on the one podcast, kind of get some. I don't like asking people the same questions you probably answered 10,000 times, but I heard the digital watch story, and I didn't know that was a song. And then I was like, oh, right. I bet you that has some. And it was like, I got to hear the story in the style of a song, and I was like, man, that's I love that. It's cool. It's like, everyone likes telling fun stories like that, but like you get to tell people like who love music and get the bar room talking to you. It's like really.
It's fun,
perfect.
I mean, that was, I had every intention of writing it in that way, and it's so much fun to do it. And when people are screaming back 420, and the thing is, it's not about weed; it's about a tattoo.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like I'm very proud of that one. That one was like, it had like 18 to like 24 verses, and I had to because there was a lot that went on that night. So the editing process of taking things out and what's going to work, and then I tried it out for the first time, and I was like, okay, that's it. Like, tried it out live, and they were like, oh, that's it. And the talkback stuff didn't happen till 2 or 3 years after. I think some drunk buddy of mine in Shreveport, like I said, 420 saved my life, and that dude screamed out, "Save my life," and that hit me. I was like, I gotta keep that. So before I do the song, I kind of coach people, like, when I do this, y'all gotta do that, and it works out very well.
Nice. So you get some crowd interaction as well.
Oh yeah, it's fun, especially when it's a packed house and it just erupts. Like it's super cool. Feels good.
Yeah.
I'm a proud parent of that song.
Yeah. And now when you write a song, is like the main core like connection to who's listening to it? Is that like a major, like, would you rather have people connecting to your music rather than have, just numbers and stream, which is nice too, but
Yeah, connection for sure, because that can't be taken away.
yeah.
Numbers can, it's always. We tend, as our musician group, we tend to surround ourselves around like-minded people of how, we take care of the music first, and it goes a long way. So I would definitely rely on playing for the people outside of getting streams or anything like that.
Yeah. That's that's kind of like what, like the singer-songwriter scene. It's very serious. Like and especially it's very connective in the lyrics and everything. Like I was talking to David Tribble, and I was like, man, sometimes I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm in the kitchen with you, like a fly on the wall in this argument, just listening to a song.
I love Tribble, man. We became pretty good friends, and I respect his work. He's a great writer. Yeah, I love Tribble. That's cool. That's cool. So y'all did a podcast together?
Yeah, and I got to meet him, and I was like, you know what? Not everyone's short. You're just tall.
He is a very tall person.
Yeah.
Very tall, very, very kind, very patient. We had to, I did a song swap with him in Hyco, Texas, and the night before we had played with Randy Rogers' band, and we woke up late at the Airbnb because, like, Niles was with us too, so we stayed up till like 4 in the morning, like, playing music and, having some drinks, and then we woke up late, and we're having to bust out, and this was in Houston, so that's about a good 4-hour drive, and I had to meet Tribble at 3. And we woke up at 11, and man, we scooted, man. We scooted back from Houston, got to Hyco, and he was cool with it. And I was like 15 minutes late, and he was like, "Oh man, everything's cool." And we did the show, and it went great. It went really good.
Do you have like a favorite show you've ever done? Like if you could like replay a show.
Man, a lot of Larry Joe Taylor's events have been some of the most memorable that I have. And there's this place in Denton called Dan's Silverleaf, and that's a really cool place to play. And we've had some good shows there. But anything that Larry Joe Taylor puts on, like we're there, and it's always a blast. So we're very, very honored to be a part of that group, because I mean he's such a Texas icon when it comes to songwriting, or just like helping Texas songwriters get to a position where they need to be. He's a very healthy influence. There's a lot of people, you'll meet people that are very poisonous, and he's not one of them. So that's cool.
Yeah, and everybody always tells me to go down to his festival.
Oh, it's a blast. Coming up in like next week.
Yeah.
What's today? Today's Monday.
Yeah.
So it starts on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's being from out here, like I don't know how any of that stuff works, and everyone's like, "Oh, just come down." I'm like, "Man, I'll come down." Like, oh, forget I came down. I have no idea what to do, where to go, and I just hear the stories, and I'm just like, I'd be into that, but I'd also, I would need a tour guide, because
Well, I think, how many musicians or people that go over there? I think you'd have plenty of tour guides.
Yeah.
We stay out there all week. We chill you around.
Yeah, Kane and Bryce, Tanner Ustry, they're all like, come on down.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, you ought to. Kanan's playing main stage this year,
nice.
so it'd be fun. He puts on a hell of a show.
Yeah, I've hung out with him a couple times. I've never seen him live. I did see him play with Pecos, but yeah. Like,
Oh yeah.
I definitely I love the festivals because for me to catch all these people that I found that I really love their music, it's just I think like the Carolinas is just like that line where people are like, you know what, we're good here. Virginia,
Yeah.
Richmond, they get a lot of the acts, but Texas is so big. I get why people would just stay at home base.
Yeah, you got man, it was just like 3 weeks ago. Preston and I were opening up for Randy Rogers and doing these acoustic shows, and man, I bet we put 1,200 miles on the truck, and we only, Yeah, it was only for 4 days, and we stayed in Texas. So we're going 250 mile, like 250 here, 250 there, 300 here. You know, it was wild. And it's so like Texas is so big, like it's its own, you know, it's its own country, like the regions. You know, like we're in Marshall. So I've always thought everything east of Tyler, like Texans don't really claim. Like they're like, oh, that's Louisiana. And then the farther west you go is when it becomes like true Texas. And the farther south you go, it becomes more Mexico. And then the more north you go, it's they wouldn't call it Oklahoma, but you know, there's like Texas is split up in 5 different regions, so it's massive. And it's easy, you know. I can see why like Texas music is such a big thing because I mean people just stay there. They play it, you know. The Panhandle's different. Farther west you go, there's actually mountains farther west. And then you have the coast. You actually have beaches. And then you have the pine trees in the east. And everybody has a different style of living, which is really cool. But they all claim like we're all Texans, you know.
Yeah, it's funny. And like, and that's like a very guarded term I found. Like, I started a video. I was like, my fellow Texans. The guy goes, you can't say that because you're not Texan. I was like, I guess saying my fellow. I was like, it's just, to me that's just fancy talking. I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not arguing with you in my DMs over this.
There you go.
Or like people that are like, they ain't red dirt. Red dirt is strictly Oklahoma, sir. I'm like, dude, the hashtag is called red dirt because people are like red dirt. Listen to this stuff. God.
Well, there is. I mean, people are prideful. People are prideful over that, and it's. I don't disagree with it. Now, I wouldn't shy anybody away from being fans of it, but yeah, I mean, it is. You know, people are prideful of their music. Like the Towns Van Zants and the Guy Clarks of the world, you know, we're honored to have them, to call them Texan, you know, it's super cool.
Yeah. Now, like, it seems that like, from what I was reading, you're heavily in the songwriters.
Oh yeah. Like I want somebody to mess me up for the night. I want to hear that one song that makes me want to rethink what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, you strive for that. And, like, you meet a lot of songwriters that, like, appreciate the craft. Because it's not like you sit down and write a song in 5 minutes. Like, you can sit there and think on one for years sometimes. And it finally comes out. But I appreciate people that respect the craft. And not only respect the craft, but respect music in general, because, you know, we wouldn't be anything without music. You know, I like to think of it as God gave us this gift of music. And so music in itself is like this demigod that, you know, we need to... What can we give to it, not take from it?
Yeah.
So let's give to it, you know, because you know you want your stuff to live when you're dead and gone. So why, you know, I don't know. I mean, I respect the Taylor Swift of the world that's been very successful, but I don't know. It doesn't mess me up like a Guy Clark song does, or a Towns Van Zant that's living forever. Yeah. The original Taylor has a song called Old Screen Door. I think it's just so beautiful. And it's so detailed. I like details in songs. I want to feel like I'm there.
Yeah. Do you have a song of yours that you wish would transcend?
That I wish would?
Yeah, like if you had if you could pick, like, is somebody, I guess like kind of like a resume. If someone was like, do you have like one that's just to you is the most polished and
Yeah, I do. And it does. I know I can't play it like for a festival or anything, but like I wrote it about. I never got to meet my dad because he passed away when I was in my mom's belly. Like she was pregnant with me when he passed, and I struggled with that for the longest time. Just not, knowing a father's guidance, I guess. Or like the conversation. There's a lot of things I still haven't learned yet because I just didn't have that father figure. And I was cutting grass one day, and I just thought, I was like, man, because I was hanging out with my mom the night before, and man, she was just. We don't talk about it often, but when I ask her questions, she gets kind of heartbroken and stuff, But it was weird seeing her cry about somebody that I am connected with, but I didn't have sympathy for myself. I had it for my mom. And I was like, man, it's hard to miss a man I never met. And then I called my buddy Brian Martin out of Arkansas. I was like, man, I think I got this good idea for a song, man. I think we should write it. And he goes, you're on your own with that one, buddy. Like, you're going to have to figure that one out. And I did. I finished it the night before we went in the studio and recorded it. And I'm super proud of it. Like, I think it's, proud parent of that one for sure.
yeah, it's definitely super personable. And now when people come up to you and they tell you, like, once you release a song, it almost like not becomes yours anymore, and people will take it and it can mean something different to them. And when somebody hears that and goes up to you and tells you their story, does it help you in a way, or does it bring back, does it ever, it just.
Oh, it's more of like, okay, the job was done.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, I'm glad you brought that up because, like, I've had late night conversations with other artists. It's like, yo, once you write this, it's not yours anymore. Once you put it out for people, it's theirs, and they can interpret it however they want. And I love that fact. Like, I love somebody. I've had people come up to me after I played that song in a set, and they're like, man, I lost my cousin, I did get to meet him, but like I feel your pain, or I can sense the meaning behind it, and that means the world. It only takes one person to come up and for you to give you acknowledgement to where you're, all right, I guess I'll go back and write tomorrow. But part of it too, writing is like you can't help but do it. Writers can. It's like you can get aggravated with it or with music and stuff, but man, it's in you. It's like this disease,
Yeah.
And I love it. I love getting mad at songs. I love getting mad at music because it's so inspiring, If you don't get mad at something, you can't correct it.
Yeah. That's a cool line.
You can have it. That's yours. That's your line.
It's funny. Like, I found an old, like a marble composition book, and I used to write these. God, they were terrible songs. And it's funny is like, I could tell like where I was drawing inspiration from, and it's weird now. Like I loved like heavy metal, and then you listen to those lyrics on some of these songs I loved, and then
yeah,
you listen to them again. Like, I've really been trying to like listen as somebody that listens to country music for the story and for everything, because I'm a guitar player. I always hear like the percussion, the bass, the guitar, and all that first, and like I go back and I listen to all these songs I loved, and I'm like, man, these lyrics are silly. And it's so weird to me now, because like the other day, the band that's really transitioned me into like feeling and really getting in, and it probably because I spent a lot of time talking with them is American Aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the first time I put on like normally like I do like just songs and I'll go that just like kind of like keep it fresh. Because if you just run down an entire thing, you end up saying like the same thing and just gets repetitive. And I was like, you know what? I got BJ on the podcast. I'm just gonna listen to his entire record. And it's like I felt like all of his Instagram pictures made sense. I had the stories of his tattoos and everything, and some of his statuses, and I was just like, man, like, and his song, you know, you saw it in Duke's Mayonnaise and Cherokee Purples, and I'm thinking like, man, my great grandmother's vegetable soup. Like, you know, like having a conversation with the music, and like I told him, I said, man, there's bands I've been listening to my whole life, and I don't know anything about them from their music. You know, I think it's just crazy how, you know, because I love to read, and I don't really read fiction or anything. I read like biographies or autobiographies. I love stuff like that and poetry and everything. And here, there's been an entire genre of that in a format that I also like. I love music, and it's been a wild journey because like the country music I heard was like the bro country and you know.
Well, that was, you know, when it that I don't know how to explain it. I mean, that kind of music just got thrown in everybody's face, I think.
Yeah,
and you know, you're very influenced on what you're seeing on your phone, especially a younger generation. So when that idea of like, hey, this is the new country, it was frustrating to watch, but I didn't put that much I didn't invest that much emotion into it just because I knew who I was hanging out with and what we were doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, they made a lot of money off of it, and still are. So good for them, I guess.
Yeah. I get the anthemies type stuff. You know, it's fun to know the words and be screaming it. I get it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to, you know, scream, pour some sugar on me, and it's like, whatever that means.
That's 80s rock, man.
Yeah. That's like
that's what you hear in the strip club.
Yeah.
So have you ever played Shreveport? You're in the metal and stuff. Like, it's got a great metal scene.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going down there. I don't know when. But there's a Steel Records. I'm going down there.
You know Leaf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're great. What's it, Kyle?
Yeah.
Kyle owns it, right? Kyle Roop?
Yeah, Kyle Roop and Leaf. I believe they're both co-owners. But
they're both great players. Like, Kyle could play the hell out of some pedal steel, man. He's super good. Yeah,
he's great. It's funny. I just did a podcast with him, and I was like, "Hey, man," I was like, "By the way, I got beat out from being a feature on a song because they were like, hey, man, I got Kyle Root. I got to go with the GOAT." I was like, dude, I get it. I was like, you get slide guitar, you get steel. I said, I can't do any of that. I said, hey, no hurt feelings here, man. And he's so down there. He just was laughing. He goes, really? You know, but they're doing the Cross Canadian Ragweed tribute. So I'm gonna go put some guitar on that.
That's killer. Are they really doing that? Like,
yeah.
Steel Records is?
Yup. Yeah. They got I know they're I'm pretty sure they wanted to keep the track listing kind of secretive. I don't know, but they got some big names. We tried getting Co Wetzel. I wasn't able to get it a hold, and nobody got a hold of me from Co. But they really, the song 17, they really want to make sure that someone does it. Like they were looking forward to like possible like Treaty Oak, which I don't know if that's gonna happen, but they got a bunch of people on it.
I could see Treaty Oak wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to be a part of that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that Boys from Oklahoma thing just went down this weekend. And man, that thing was packed.
Yeah, it was incredible.
So that was cool. Yeah, we know Mike McClure, the Great Divide, and like, I was so happy for him, man. Get a part of that. I mean, damn, it was. I wish we could have got. Race went. He went Saturday. He went and caught the show. I'm trying to remember what we did Saturday. Hell, I can't remember. I can't even remember it's Monday. I had to ask you twice.
Every day Saturday.
Every day, not really. Like, every day feels like Sunday until you realize, like, oh man, I cannot rest today.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, is that something you would want to do? Like, just to get on stage and see 50,000 people? Because I know a lot of people, that's like kind of like their nightmare, but also their dream at the same time.
You know, playing for a huge crowd and playing your music. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I guess you kind of want to strive for that, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
I think. But hell yeah, who wouldn't like 50,000 people screaming your song? You know.
I know.
Who wouldn't like that?
That's like when people won't put the work in. And I tell them, like, I didn't spend, like, my weekends inside playing scales, getting better on the guitar, so I can just be playing at the bar that just gives me free drinks. You know, like, that's cool, too. Yeah. You know, to play to your local, but I'm like, dude, not...
Yeah,
like,
so, you know, a lot of people... I tell a lot of young musicians, too, it's like, you got to ask yourself what you want. Like, what do you want out of this? If you want the fame, go get it. That's not a wrong answer. There's not a wrong or right answer. But just be cool while you're doing it. Find what your goal, decide what your goal is, and then strive for that. And no one's going to get in your way, you know. Just be an influence on the way.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be dead and gone, and everyone's like, man, he or she they weren't very cool. It's like you can still strive for a goal and want to grasp that and still be influential on the way. But just know what you want from the get-go. You know, do you want to be the best songwriter you can possibly be, or do you want to be, you know... Do you want to host SNL one night, you know?
Yeah.
Go get it. But just know, like, once you reach that goal, you're going to have to make another one. So I say shoot for the stars.
Yeah. Now, in the songwriting aspect, if you wanted to get, I don't know, not so much better, but just, you know, what does somebody do to be a better songwriter? Especially if you feel like you hit a plateau, and is it to listen to other songwriters or to go out and...
I think so, or just like get yourself in a position to where you're inspired, you know, or you just go ahead and listen to, you know, the songwriters I listen to are different than what, you know. We all listen to different people. But, you know, get mad at a song.
We get the dreaded phone call. Right, we're back. This time, power
We're back.
A lot of times it's battery. It's a phone call.
There was too much rock and roll in the garage.
Yeah, that actually is. That's probably the coolest reason so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So y'all have had it before.
Yeah, a lot of times people go, I never knew live streaming would suck my battery so much. I'm like, yeah. The first time you do it, if you don't know, like it's. Mm-hmm. I just remember going like live on TikTok first, and it was like it felt like 30 minutes. And I was like, I have a full battery, I don't get it, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You have too many electric instruments in your garage.
Yeah, I mean I love it. You know, I'm glad it's getting used. You know, we kind of like created the space for creation to happen. So I'm glad it's being used. You know.
Yeah. Like what was it? The Beat Laboratory.
Beat Laboratory. What was that?
Is it Step Brothers? Yeah.
Man, that's one of my favorite movies. It's so funny.
Yeah. It's just
Presley's stepdad is like his favorite one. So we'd be hanging out at the house, and you know, it'd be late, you know, early morning, and we're finally going to bed, and he'd put on Step Brothers. We'd sit there and fall asleep watching it, fall asleep laughing, which is it's a possible thing to do.
yeah.
You know, just
That's
laugh
definitely
till
a
you
good
fall
one.
asleep.
Yeah. That movie is just quotable, not just nonstop.
It's like Friday. You ever seen Friday?
Yeah.
Like that one, to me, is the most quotable. You can sit there and quote that whole movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I like they have like if you're cool, you can hear this picture. They're like
Yeah.
you can just hear it. But it's,
Man, we're getting so much stuff delivered today. I'm watching a FedEx truck pull into the driveway. It's wild. We got
Yeah.
these chickens, right? And they just kind of roam around.
yeah,
And it's funny watching them like, who's this? Y'all got food? We're about to put that rooster in the pot, man. He's been getting on to everybody. It's like, no, you gotta learn your role, dog. Take care of your hens, kill the snakes, and don't fight all my friends that come over, you know.
yeah. It's I dated a girl that had it's a pet turkey. His name was Oscar.
That's awesome.
And I was like, "Where's Oscar?" And I remember being like, "He's probably riding the horse." And I was like, "What?" And we pull up to her house, and there's this turkey on this horse, just like peacocking. I was like,
Hitching
"Dude,
a ride.
Yeah,
That
I thought
lazy
you were
son of a
lying.
gun.
Yeah, and it was funny. Like the one time they were like, "Hey, if you want to feed the turkey," they had a turkey farm, and I guess they named one, and they couldn't do anything with it. It just became a pet. And they're like, "Hey, if you want to feed the turkeys, you go right ahead." And I didn't know you weren't supposed to like walk in with all the food. There was like a port where you just put it in. Oh man, I walked right in, and I was like, "These things can kind of fly," you know, like.
Oh yeah, they roost in trees, man. They can get
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, I mean, the ones at the store, you would think there's no way this little hippo is getting in the air because, you know, that's. At first, I was like, these things are vultures. I'd never seen like a grass fed turkey, like
Yeah, they're
really like
big.
up close.
They're
Yeah.
big animals. We had the privilege of going. Have you heard of King Ranch?
King Ranch.
So it's like biggest ranch in Texas, or one of, and just it's an iconic place, and like it's invite only, and the only way we got in was because to play music, thanks to Larry Joe, and we got to spend a week out there, and so there's like this little compound on one of the ranch places we were staying at, and like there'd be wild turkey just in the courtyard, and it was so beautiful to watch. And then during the evening, like there'd be a bunch of you know what javelina are?
No.
So they're like they're pigs, and all these javelina would be hanging out with all the turkeys and stuff, and then we go out for these rides and see just like the wildlife out there is amazing. I think there's like the lot. So where we stayed, it was 16,000 acres, and where we hunted, it was I think 20 or 24,000. It's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I think that whole area is like twice the size of Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's how big Texas is, you know. It's wild. And it's like south, like Kingsville. So it's near Corpus Christi, that area. And that that was cool to see that too, because there was a lot of brush area, but then there was a lot of like desert, and then there was also like sand dunes from the coast. So just being on that property, and it was pretty majestic. You can't, like, I was asking Larry, I was like, hey man, you think we can do this every December? And he was like, no. This is invite only. So it was
I
cool.
would like to formally invite myself.
No. Well, like, I mean, you can sit there and try to hustle up a gig or two, you know, but you can't just walk up on the place. So it was cool. There was I started playing music in 2004. And I traveled and I played in a lot of places. And it wasn't until 2020 when I met Presley and we started writing and playing together. Because we didn't date at first. We played for almost 8 months, working the roads. Who playing at places who would ever take us, because 2020 was such a shutdown, and of course it was a shutdown, for COVID, but we were finding these venues that found loopholes where you can go play, and that's what we did. Like, we road dogged it, and then meeting Larry Joe Taylor, man, he's changed our lives and so many other people's lives. Like, he actually cares. And I'm so thankful for Larry. I'm thankful for Presley, thankful for Race. Race, like that. Race, playing for Race Rick is my first bass gig ever. And, like, it's so much fun playing bass. So I'm very thankful for him. And then meeting Niles, like, him and I became really close friends. Like, we're pretty much alike. We kind of got So Larry Joe Taylor has this songwriting showcase. It's like a contest every year. I think this year is like his 15th year or 16th year. And Niles hosted. And so afterwards, of course, we're all there hanging out, having a good time. And we go to this diner in Streamville. It's called Peacocks. And we're eating food. It's like 1:32 in the morning. And me and Niles are feeling pretty good. And we start looking at each other. It's like, you want to go meet in the parking lot? Are you ready to throw down? So we had everybody, like, convinced that we were going to fight. So we had the whole diner worked up like, oh my God, they're really going to do it. And then we just sat down and ate our eggs, But I love that guy to death. He's one of my favorite songwriters.
Yeah.
I think he's phenomenal. And he spits them out constantly. He's great.
Do you guys co-write, or you just keep?
We co-wrote one, actually, when Shaker was doing a record, and it was Race, Presley, and I. We just happened to be in the studio, just like if they needed us, for like harmonies or whatever. And Niles was like, "Well, we have the music of this one, we just haven't written it yet. Would you like to co-write it?" And I was like, for a Shaker hymn cut, absolutely. Let's go in the office, And we sat there and wrote some stuff out, and it was great. I don't know if it'll ever be released, but I just enjoyed that. It was an honor just to be asked, to co-write something. I live for those moments.
And that's like in the vault.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what he wants to do with it. But it's very cross Canadian ragweed, for sure.
Nice.
The song is. But I do enjoy co-writing. Like Presley and I do quite a bit of that, and I kind of enjoy like the editing process. I like her delivering a song without music. I want to read it as a story. And if something doesn't quite make sense, then we kind of sit there and edit it. Like, we call it getting the red ink out. Like, let's get the red ink out and let's work this out. But here lately, man, she didn't need my help. She hadn't been needing my help at all, man. She's been killing it.
Now, do you guys like try to plan runs together, or do you guys keep
Press
it
and
separate?
I?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know, there was a moment where I was like, man, I think I would like to keep it separate because I want to hear about how your day was instead of knowing exactly how it was. But then here recently, I was like, I kind of want to be there, and she wants me there, and her management team, and you know they put not put a bug in my ear, but kind of influenced me to like, hey, let's focus on that. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Whatever she wants me to do, I love her that much, you know. So I'll do whatever she wants me to do.
Yeah, that's cool though, especially if, you know, being a singer. If your voice is hurting and whatnot, and you need to take a break, you know, you can just help out in that way. Or
Yeah, well, in that sense, like it does help to carry the load. I really enjoy when we do like the song swap thing because I feel like we sing each other, we sing on each other's stuff so well, and we play off each other so well, and it's almost like I feel like when I'm playing with her when we're doing like a duo set that there's not even a crowd. It's just like we're just sitting there in our living room, just playing songs in our pajamas. You just happen to look up and there's people out there. So it's cool. Like I'm very blessed to get to do what I love with somebody I love and with a lot of friends that I love.
yeah,
Like I said, you got to realize, like when I was talking about, you got to know what you want out of this, and I am confident enough to say, like, I have found that. I get to create with some of, you know, the most just powerhouses when it comes to writing. Great lyricists and great people. Like there were times like we'll talk about music before a show, but usually when we're all hanging out the house, it's like we're just cooking and talking about like what are you gonna name your kid kind of thing. You know, we kind of escape what the stage is, and we just kind of. I love cooking, so I'll just cook for everybody, and we sit around and eat and watch. We're real big in the Righteous Gemstones right now, the HBO show. So we're watching that, and just whatever, you know. Whatever takes the ease off each other's minds.
yeah. Do you have a signature dish? That
Usually, if Niles is coming, I'll cook either my beans or jambalaya.
nice.
Niles and his girlfriend Dale, like they like my jambalaya. So, and it's very easy to cook. So, especially if we're going anywhere, I can just cook a bunch of it. Just take it, and like everybody eat. You know, that's like a Southern thing to do. I always bring food.
Yeah,
Make sure no one goes hungry.
yeah. Jambalaya. That's. I imagine. Well, being around Shreveport, you probably make a mean jambalaya.
Well, I learned it from my buddy, my best friend Dallas Booth. He lives over there in Carthage, and his wife Paris makes the best gumbo I've ever had, and they do the best crawfish boils. I mean, it's so good.
It's like my favorite.
Crawfish is? You like
Like,
crawfish?
yeah, like a low country boil. Just. It's funny. Like I hate corn on the cob. I will not eat it unless it's been in one of those boils.
It's that flavor that's in it, you know.
Yeah.
And now, so I like my mushrooms in a good crawfish bowl. This is a guy, we call him Big Country. He's from Mississippi, and he does these boils out there at this ranch. It's called Stone Creek Ranch in Mullen, Texas. And he does tamales in it, which is like you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
But man, it's so good. Tamales and like hot dog weenies and But it's funny if you wait long enough. Like you got to stay sober enough to the end of the night because everybody will start passing out, going to bed. If you're the last people standing, they'll start throwing the crab legs in there.
Mm.
And so you get if you're last man standing, you get some crab leg. And man, this last boil last year, I made sure I stayed sober enough to get some of those crab legs. Super good.
Yeah, that's the way to eat seafood. That's like my favorite, like the New England clam bake. Of course, we do it in like a turkey fryer. Those guys up there, some of them, they do it like they just dig a hole in the sand, just throw it in. And,
That's cool.
yeah.
Whenever we went to Maryland, when we were in Bethesda, what's the body of water that's right there in Annapolis?
Annapolis. I'm like, I shouldn't have just drove right through it.
It's not. Is it the Hudson?
Nah, the Hudson's up in like New York. Man, what? I should know. Like, I drove under it.
Because Annapolis, that's where the Naval Academy is.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and had crab over there, and I was like, this is probably as good or better as the bowl crab that we had in compared to Louisiana over there in Annapolis. Man, it was so good. But that's what what's Maryland's known for that.
Yeah, the crab cakes, and yeah, crab in general, because we have a ton of crab houses out here, and like the rowdy guys that come and sit down at the bar and get hammered, they're the ones who called all the crabs you're eating.
No shit, I believe that. I believe that.
I'll just be like, there's always a sign, and it'll be like reserved, and my buddy be like, how can you always look out for the reserve? And you don't ever. Sometimes you want to sit there, sometimes you don't. I'm like, because that's where the crabbers sit. And I was like, and if you want to be able to drive home or even walk out of here, so it could be a dangerous place to be because they've been out on the water all morning, all day, and
yeah, they're ready to have a
to
good
get down.
time.
Yeah.
Like let them do it.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's cool. Man, one thing I loved about Annapolis was seeing how old the buildings were.
oh yeah,
A lot of those buildings were built before America was, America.
Yeah,
That's one. Have you ever been to Santa Fe, New Mexico?
no,
So a lot of those old churches have been built since the 1500s, before New Mexico was even a state. It's I love that.
yeah,
And the fact that they're still standing.
yeah. That's what you'll get a lot of that up in the Northeast when the people from Texas come up. And it's funny that the bands that do come up to Philly, they're always like, "Where's a good place to get a cheesesteak?" I remember being like, "Dude, we're in Independence Hall. The country was literally founded. Like these bricks, I'm like, you can go. There's the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
We'll get cheesesteaks after we do a little tour." Especially when people go to when you go to Boston and you realize just like you said, like everything's like back from colonies and everything, and
I really want to go to Fenway Park. Like I want to see that stadium.
yeah,
But I'd like to do a little tour from like Boston to Philly. We had the chance to go to New York City in January, and that was really cool. We were in Manhattan, and it wasn't as much hustle and bustle as I thought it was going to be.
yeah,
Like it was very, spread out, one-way roads for sure. But we walked everywhere, which was cool. But it was crazy we're flying in. You look over and see the Statue of Liberty, and I'm like, is that really it? You only see these things in pictures or on movies, and then when you get there, you're like, holy shit.
yeah,
Like, this is actually real,
yeah. Like when you just look up, and just bricks all around.
Man, it was super cool because the hotel we stayed at, like, So we go get coffee downstairs, and they had like these nooks in the windows. And we'd sit there and drink coffee and look up, and you can see the Empire State Building right there. And I was like, this is... Not only is it an American icon, it's like a worldly icon. Everyone knows the Empire State Building. That was super wild.
Yeah, New York's great for food. There's just so many spots you can get food.
Have you been to New Orleans?
No, I've been meaning to get it's funny. It's like I was complaining about my friends, but I was like, I need to hang out with people that have ambition to like travel, and like I like to travel. I don't like the act of getting there. I can get really.
Well, you got to make that part fun.
I know.
You know what I mean? You got to get in the car with people that you enjoy being around, and you'll have a good time. And then you get to New Orleans. Of course, you got to get your beignets or whatnot, but like, there's not a lot of places to go eat in New Orleans that are bad. So you can find some place to eat that's super good, and then you go to Frenchman Street. Because Frenchman is where a lot of the jazz players play, and it's like the music's so good.
Yeah.
Like, stay off of Bourbon. Like, Bourbon is like the touristy part. It's like going to Austin and being on 6th Street. Everyone's just like drunk and obnoxious. But like Frenchman is like good food. I remember I had fried squid one time. Dude, that shit was fire. Super good. You had to chew on it for a minute, but it still tasted good, though. And you can, like, one thing about New Orleans, like Louisiana in general, like, you can buy a beer and then walk out of the bar, walk down the street with your beer, deciding whatever other bar you want to go to. Now, you can't take it into the next bar, but you can walk down the street in the quarter and drink your drink.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, you know, obviously the United States of America is just, you know, we're all Americans, but every state, you always have to wonder. It's like, what's the rules around here about, you know, walking around with this?
Okay, so I don't know a lot about Delaware. Tell me about Delaware.
Oh man, I remember to serve alcohol, you got to go take like an ABC class. And I remember he was a federal agent. He goes, passengers in cars in Delaware can drink. And I was like, oh, that's all I need to hear.
Yeah.
Apparently, you know, as long as the driver isn't.
Oh, so y'all can't? You can't do that in Texas.
No. Yeah.
Like, so if Presley was driving somewhere and I had a beer in the passenger seat, we got pulled over, I'd get a $300 fine for an open container.
That's crazy. Because, you know, like, what's the difference of, you know, you can go to Nashville and you can be, like, on those mobile taverns, you know, like, it's...
Well, all those places, too, that are known for, like, you know, you go have a good time and have some drinks, like, the law's going to be a little bit lenient because that's the tourist attraction.
Yeah, it's just wild how, man, $300. Granted,
Yeah,
like...
$300. It's just right at $3. But, yeah, I mean, and they don't joke around with D-dubs around here. So, and that's a good thing. Like, I would never, you know, advocate, oh, yeah, get fucked up and go home, you know? Like, no, just call a ride or, you know what, sleep on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know?
I've always been a big fan of just laying down my back seat and putting my feet in the trunk, just laying,
Yeah.
laying down.
What the thing in Texas is, like, if I think Louisiana too, if you go in your vehicle to go to sleep and not drive, you got to be either in the back seat and you have to have your keys away from you.
Yeah.
Because they'll still get you if you're asleep in the driver's side.
Yeah, we have that too. You know, tell you just throw your keys as far as
maybe
possible.
we shouldn't put this stuff on the podcast, huh? I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's funny.
Shreveport was that was a very adult dose for me. Those 10, 12 years I was playing over there. I learned a lot. Because, I mean, the bars in Shreveport, downtown, they stay open till 6. They only legally have to close for an hour
It's crazy.
to clean. And so we'd go. There was one time, like, for like 2-3 years, we were playing 3 nights and three gigs a day for 3 years straight. So we'd do like a lunch gig, and then a supper gig, and then a late night club gig. Just continuous. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Definitely learned a lot. I learned what to tell my friends not to do.
Yeah, that's a wild lifestyle too. Just
Yeah, it's not easy, you know, but for me, like, it was fun for me because I just wanted to learn from these guys. Because in Marshall, where, you know, whenever we played there, like, it was a lot of fun, but, like, we had met these musicians out of Shreveport that I was like, man, I need to learn so much from them because I think they're phenomenal. And so to the point where I kind of lived over there for 3 years, just couch surfing and just soaking in everything I could from the way that they were writing or the way they were playing certain things or writing melodies, you know, just all the aspects of music. And, you know, it was Shreveport, you know, holds a very hefty part in my heart.
yeah.
I love Shreveport. I love the friends that I've met out there. Good people. A lot of them do. We're talking about session players. You know, they do session work in Muscle Shoals and just great players. Really down to earth too. And they got families, so it's kind of easy to hang out with them now.
But yeah, like bouncing around and stuff. Did that help with your writing? It sounds like sound like a
Oh,
a
yeah, for
bluesman
sure.
going like doing the hobo thing.
For sure, you know. I mean, there's a lot of loneliness and heartbreak that goes involved in all that stuff, but like there's a lot of, yeah, I mean, it definitely helped out with the songwriting process and still does to this day. You know, you don't ever, you know, don't forget your past. You know, there's a lot of those things that are you want to hold on to. But yeah, like, yeah, being on the road, man. Even to this day, we've been traveling so much, which is fun. I love it. I'm realizing how old I am getting, though, when it comes to, you know, 300-400 miles in between each gig, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of beef jerky.
Yeah. Beef jerky and thirsty right after.
Well, like Red Bulls or whatever energy drink, and then beef jerky, almonds. I like almonds. And then you get to the venue, you do your sound check. The joke is, we're not really musicians. We're professional waiters. You just wait around all day just to play for an hour, or an hour and a half.
Yeah, hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, it's
But I wouldn't change it for the world, you know.
yeah, it definitely. It definitely is fun. You definitely have to be cut out for it, but man, like, I haven't been on the road in a while, and I do miss it. You know, I still have a 9 to 5, but we still figured out how to do like 130 shows a year, and
Yeah.
you know, you just get off work Friday, go right to the trailer, and of course, you know, there's always the one member, You know, ours was ours was the drummer. I'm like, how is the guy that keeps our time never on time? We used to, you know.
Well, that's the key. Like,
Yeah, like-
it's funny. Like the joke is like, you know it. So I'll go in depth with it, but like 60% of this business, I think, is just showing up on time
Yeah.
and work ethic. The other
Yeah.
40 is split between talent and just giving a shit.
Yeah.
And you know, the rest takes care of itself. But like, it's always like the most talented guy that's in the band that he's the one that like is late or just doesn't even show up for practice and stuff. You know.
Yeah, we had a show. We called the bass player. We're like, "Where are you at?" He's like, "Oh, I'm in Buffalo." Like, what are you doing in Buffalo?
We got a show tonight, dog.
Yeah, supposed to be in Lebanon, PA. Oh, but I ain't gonna be there. Like, all right. And that was like one of the first times. Like, I can play guitar. I know the notes. I know the strings. But I'm not a bass player. I was just like root noting it. It was like so uncomfortable.
Power chords, man. It'll hide everything.
Yeah, well, it was also the first time I played a 5-string, and that B string just like melted my brain. It's like,
Oh, you were playing the bass that night?
yeah, like
Oh.
I had done like, you know, just the track on songs I'll do at home, but I'm not like I have no technique. If you can play bass, you're a bass player. Like it's always a weird thing to say. Like I can play bass and I can get by a gig, but I'm not. Nobody's looking at me and going like, "Hell yeah, man, that's got my attention." They're just like, "Oh yeah, mm-hmm."
Yeah.
Like I've seen people just tear the bass up, like, and yeah, that's not me. I don't spend enough time.
There's
with
a form to that, you know. You know Victor Wooten.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the, you know, greatest bass players of all time. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, there's that form, there's that style of playing bass. Like country bass is very different, especially playing bass for a songwriter. Like it's fun for me because I get to sit back and watch. I have the front row seat, watching somebody I respect playing this song, and all I have to do is stay out of his way, or her way. Just hit those root notes, or if you gotta get fancy, do it like at the end of the song. And just stay out of their way. It's a different form of music. Like I've watched, you know, like I was saying, like Shreveport has a great metal scene. It's a different breed. Like very phenomenal, intricate players. Like I like to compare like metal stuff to classical music because it's extremely intricate.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about Shreveport is like all like the metal bands, the punk bands, the singer-songwriters, the pop bands, the rock and roll bands, like everybody showed up for each other's shows. It didn't matter what genre of music you were playing. They just appreciated your craft. And it's I haven't been in a city like that. And cool.
Yeah, that's a cool place to be. I wish we had a local place that did original bands. A lot of places around here, there's some great venues, but there's a lot of tribute bands. I just can't.
Well, yeah, I mean they sell tickets or
Yeah, it's amazing.
sell
to me.
booze, you know. But that's how East Texas was. It was very, you know, you get, hey, we'll pay you $100 to play on Friday, but you got to play 3 hours. And then they would hire this, you know, cover band for $2,000 to play 2 hours. And I get it, you know, it's a business, it sells. You know, it's how much beer can you sell?
Yeah.
But we're fortunate enough to be able to do what we kind of want to do, and sell tickets, or drink booze with the people, so they're buying booze, and it works out for everybody.
Yeah, I just love how the culture down there is, play your own music. We don't want to hear.
Yeah, it wasn't
The
until I
jukebox.
started going farther west in Texas where the appreciation for songwriters it grew, blossomed for me. Because you'd play a cover song or two to see if the crowd's working with it, and they're like, "Play your shit! Like what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And it definitely changed our lives moving over here to this area. So
Now, is there like a cover song that, like, if the crowd's just treating you like background music, is there like a go-to where you just keep it in the bag?
now for me, no, I won't do it.
Yeah. They will learn to love me.
I'll just keep playing whatever.
Yeah.
There is a trick, I'm sure you've heard it before, where oh, can you play this song? You're like, it's $100 song, and then if they throw it in the tip jar, well, then you better show up and play that rig, But if got a buddy, so Brian over there in Arkansas, he has this band called Sad Daddy, and they were playing in Texarkana. And this guy came up and said, "Y'all know Wagon Wheel?" And Brian was like, "It's a $100 song." And he threw that $100 bill in there. And so they played Wagon Wheel. And that dude said, "Play it again." He goes, "It's still another $100." So he threw another 100 in. And they played it again. And then he came up a third time, "Play it again." And he said, "That's a $100 song." $300 they made in 25 minutes. And then, same guy came up. Y'all know Man of Constant Sorrow? Because they have a banjo player in the band. And Joe Sundell, he's the one that plays banjo. Great writer as well. He was like, "Yeah, I know it. It's a $100 song." They made $600 in like 40 minutes. So that's like, I live off that standard now. If someone comes up to me or press or whoever, "Play this song." "What? That'd be $100. But
That's
here you go.
I can't believe you did the same song 3 times. Like,
No, 2 songs.
oh, 2?
Well, it was one song 3 times and another song 3 times. So they played 2 of the same songs 3 times apiece and made $600. They probably made more in those 2 songs than they did for their guarantee that night.
Yeah, music's funny. Like, I told a guy, I was like, "Hey, man, we need a doorman to collect our cover." I didn't know we needed one. He was local, and he's like, "How much am I going to make?" I said, "You'll make $1 a head." And he goes, "Pfft." I said, "Dude, you'll make more than the band." And he's like, "Get out of here." I said, "You'll make more than me, and I'm in the band." And he came out, and he was doing the cut, and he's like, "Ooh." I was like, "I told you you'd be making more than us." He's like, "How is that possible? I made $1 a person. I made more money than everybody in the band." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, welcome to music." It's
Yeah,
like,
well, what'd you have, like 400 or 500 people there?
no, it was just the payout of how it was. It was, everybody always tells you this is the most people we've ever had in here, but that show, that we had a crowd. Everybody in the place was fighting. Our lead singer, he punched some dude in the face, and he broke his hand, broke his arm, his hand, and he wrapped it up in a towel. I was packing everything up. The bar owner came out, and he said, "I paid for you all to play to one." I said, "Listen, man, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry about your bar." And he goes, "You see, y'all just made me money. I got insurance and all that, and it's insured way more than it's worth. Get on up there and finish." And I was like, "All right." And he wrapped his hand up. He played. We had to go to the hospital afterwards. And he was letting us watch the tapes And it was, it's always when people start betting money on the pool table, and double or nothing, double or nothing, double or nothing, and then they try to take the money and run.
Oh
And
Lord.
oh man, it was fun. It's one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen jumped on stage, and I tried choking him out. I couldn't get under his chin, and I'm like, yeah, and he's just swinging me around. My feet are all, I'm 6'1", and my feet are hanging off the ground, and I just let go, and he's like, oh, thanks, cousin, I'm helping.
Man, he's like, that was awesome.
I'm so sorry. I don't. Because all he had to do was just smash me into something. I would have gave up, I just, my guitars are up there. They're like, they become like your kids. You put so
For
much,
sure.
You put so much time, and that's what some people that just don't understand, that don't play, and they'll be like, oh man, just get another one. It's like, nah, man, that was the one. They're all different. They have different feels. Some of them have been with you since, you first started, when you couldn't play jack on it. And that's another thing. That's just the road. It's just, I can't tell you how many times, I swear, lock the trailer door and somehow it falls off. And you just look back and all your crap's over the road.
Oh, no. Who packed this?
Yeah, because, like you go, "Whoop," and just the hinges will totally miss. But, yeah, we're good. Nah, we don't have to throw the lock on. We're only going down there. And just hear, what's that sound?
Everything going on the highway.
Oh, dude, sometimes it's like real life Spinal Tap. If you get there and you're like, where's the power cord to this? I can't tell you how many times we have to cut open a cord and like hardwire, and just pray that the thing doesn't just burn up.
Yeah.
Because the days of the Radio Shacks and adapters and all that's gone. Like if you can't get it delivered to where you're going by Amazon to the venue, like that's all like those like local guitar stores and music stores. It's, if there's not a Guitar Center anymore, like you're screwed. It's crazy. It's just you gotta buy everything in twos.
Yeah. Everything in twos. Well, from Guitar Center for sure. Because, shit, we'll buy mic stands, and they don't last.
No, like,
but they're like, hey, this is a lifetime warranty. I was like, I know why it is.
yeah,
I know exactly why it's a lifetime warranty.
Yeah,
because this is gonna last us 2 gigs.
Yeah. Oh, I have a Tama mic stand from like the 90s. The thing is a tank. I don't understand.
Is it made out of metal? Like,
yeah, it's a weapon.
Like steel.
But yeah, the Guitar Center, I remember they always tell you the warranty, and the guy tells the story of a QSC speaker catching on fire because the guy threw a cigarette out and it lit a fire in the truck bed. And I said, yeah, I know that story all too well because that's my band. So
Yeah.
yes, I will. You hand them back cinders, and they're like, "What was this?" It's like,
yeah, that's on us. My bad.
yeah. It is crazy. I mean, it is a business when people think it's all all fun and partying and everything. There is that aspect, but man, there's a lot of money behind. Like that can always be a frustrating part when it took money to get these places, and
Yeah.
like and you want to play for people and have everybody have a good time. It's just sometimes, man, it's just the night ain't on.
Well, you gotta have respect for yourself too.
Yeah.
It's okay to. If somebody wants you to come play and you give a price that they don't want you, that's fine. But there'll be somebody else that'll want it, But you gotta respect yourself in that way, not bleed yourself dry for $50 in a tip jar.
Yeah.
Maybe a beer tab. Maybe.
Yeah.
And playing for 3 hours, man, it's like, no, you gotta respect yourself. Respect your craft. Like you're more valuable than that.
Yeah.
Just people. You're not just props up there,
Yeah, like elevator music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, It's like the worst feeling.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about? Because I know we're going on.
You know, like I'm. I think the only thing I could talk about is like how proud I am of Race Ricketts and Niles and Presley Hill and the music that we're all creating together. And Larry Joe Taylor, like he has this festival coming up, and we're all playing at it at different times. You know, it's a week-long thing, and we're all going to be out there. It's amazing. Like I'm so proud of these people that I get to call friends that are in my life.
Yeah.
And that inspire me, and hopefully I get to inspire them in some way. So that would be the only thing I'd like to talk about, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they're cool. I've never talked to Presley. I heard her music. I love it. But I've talked to Race and Niles have been on here.
I think Race did your podcast while he was at our house.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, one of the coolest things, this is such a gangster move, too. Like, Race had you know who Robert Earl Keen is?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, just Texas icon. Well, he's kind of favored Race and really likes what Race is doing. And Race cut one of his songs on his last record. And Robert reached out to Race to cut the demo for one of Robert's songs that he's going to go in the studio with. So he got to, you know, he was at our house and he was kind of cutting the demo for it to send to Robert. And I was like, that is the coolest. That's the coolest thing. So, for him to be a part of that and just to be there when it was happening. And
Yeah.
then Presley, you know, like she's, you know, hitting waves too. You know, it's so cool to watch and just kind of be there to see it all unfold. I'm proud, very proud of them.
Yeah. That's cool that you guys all get to play at places together and everything.
Yeah, it's I'm blessed. I know that for sure.
Is there ever any plans to do like a super group of having you guys all?
Oh man, we've talked about it. I really hope it happens, you know. But I mean, everybody has things going on, so
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I think it'll happen. I do. Within the next year or two, I really do think it will. We did one of the coolest gigs I've ever experienced before. We were at the Fort Worth Music Fest, and they set us up. It was Niles, Race, Presley, and myself, and it was like the Bluebird in Nashville.
No.
Well, so the idea is like everybody kind of faces each other.
Okay.
And we were in the middle of this big venue, Tanna Hills, and everybody sat around us, and we sat there and just sang our songs and sang harmonies, and it was the coolest experience. And like I didn't realize how many people were there until I got done. And I was like, man, I probably shouldn't have got that drunk if I realized if like fucking 900 people were going to be here. But it was super cool. But yeah, I really do think we're going to do an album one day.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. I'd be pumped. I'd be honored for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, like independently, like just shake your hands and Nile and Brace. That'd be cool to hear all the sounds, because there's definitely a lot of different influences. Because like you said, everybody listens to different people.
Well, you know, and the respect we all have for each other and each other's writing is, you know, what I admire so much. You know, it's good to be a part or kind of help create that atmosphere. I wouldn't call it a scene. You know, we're more of like a family. Try to take care of each other, make sure everybody's okay before we even sing a certain note. You know.
Yeah, and that's great to have, because having great relationships like that, you know, it's priceless. Cause,
Well, it's you know, it's important. This business can be very lonely at times, and to be able to have people around you where you don't feel like you're alone, like I think helps you strive or go farther than you ever thought you could.
yeah,
And you can't really do it by yourself. Like it's just, I really don't think you can. Like you need people around you to show you the best version of yourself. And if you're able to show yourself the best version of you to other people, then they react off that, and then everybody becomes this whole entity of like greatness. So you just try to strive for that, you know.
yeah, and it's great to have those relationships in case, you know, if something takes off, you know, you want to have your base of people that you know and trust that will have your best interest, because like that's when the snakes come, and you know,
Yeah.
you think it's somebody like, hey man, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna be Papa Bear, everything's gonna be all right, and then next thing you know, you're like, man, I have this song out here, it's doing fantastic, and where's all my money? You know.
Yeah.
You signed this, and there's a sundown clause, so if I do leave you because you're ripping me off, I have no claim to any of my music. So it's nice to have people that can warn you of
Yeah, like
stuff like that.
yeah, you gotta you gotta have that for sure. You know, it's you know, we've been through a couple of situations to where thankfully we've come out on top. So, and it wouldn't have happened if we didn't have each other. You know.
Yeah. But there's like this new TV show, or it's called like The Bondsman with Kevin Bacon. I'm pretty sure it's called.
I haven't seen it. I
Well,
haven't even heard of it.
your one song, The Devil. I'm terrible with song. I was like, man, that song should have been the title track to this TV show.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
that's
just think,
cool.
Yeah, I just think it really goes. It's a great song, because like, you know, when you just kind of get not like conditioned when you just see like a name, you know, like sometimes just thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like country or this, and then like that was like one of the first songs I heard of yours, and I was like, oh shit, this is pretty good. And I liked not being able to like put a genre down to it. I'm just kind of like, man, it's just music with a bunch of cool stuff going on. I really liked just how dynamic like that song, and then you have like ballads that were
Thanks,
it's just
man.
like, you know.
Yeah, that
you-
was all my buddy in Shreveport, Michael Stevens. Like he produced that whole album, and he's such a genius. He's such a genius. So I give him all the credit for Me and the Devil, you know,
Yeah.
or any song on that record. You know, he has a great ear. He works out at Monster Souls too. You know, he'll go over there. So yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, I definitely loved. I just like what like people like you guys are doing. Just it sounds like it's crazy to say. You know, it sounds real. You know, like it's music.
Well, thank you.
I think it's funny. Sometimes I get in people's car, and you know they know me from TikTok being the country versus metal guy, and then they put on country, and I'm like, not this. It's, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
like, and it's funny. It's like on like a platform that I have, I'll never tear anything down, but when I'm in a car and I know I'm being recorded, I'll be like, listen, this is, and just shred it. I'm like, now listen to this. And I'd be like, does that sound like native instruments? No, it sounds like a real fiddle, and I get what that's used for like someone in a bedroom trying to make it, and that's absolutely awesome that there's virtual instruments for that. But when it's something on like the radio and like some of the vocals now, it just sounds like they're singing underwater with the auto tune, and it's just I can't get down with it. Like I like to hear someone's voice for their voice, and it's all right if
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird. But then again, like I do play. Maybe it is because I do play guitar and like even the guitar tones for a while, like after like 2010, for some it all sounds the same. They used to put on the radio and be like AC/DC, it's Metallica. That's you could tell by the guitar tones. There was like characteristics of bands that stood out. Like, and
Yeah.
it's just you like if you heard a solo, even if you've never heard, you'd be like, oh, it's David Gilmour. It's either David Gilmour solo now or Pink Floyd. But yeah, that kind of like got lost. And I like what I really loved and love is like what down in Texas, everybody sounds different. Like people are using different amps and different sounds. It's for the most part of like Brace and Shaker Hymns and you, and it's different in its own way, and it's cool because like as being like a guy who likes hard rock and heavy metal, like a lot of this stuff, like I'm not missing out on anything. There's still crunchy guitars and heavy lyrics and stuff, but it's just what I really like about it is you feel like you're listening to like people, and I don't know, and it's good.
Well, thank you, man. Like it's that's all we can be. What you see is what you get. But that's cool, man. I really appreciate that. I really do, man.
Yeah,
For you to recognize that,
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I tell a lot of people, it's like I get like I care. You know what I mean? When I hear something, and you'd be like, oh man, they got to be huge. And then you go, because I'll take some sounds from Apple or take some sounds from Spotify, and you'll see like, and it's just a lot of people have a lot of people listening to them, but I think a lot of people are missing out because you can get like the real authentic thing that's it's just I don't know. Just to hear people's music, especially like your music and Presley and all this, you know what I mean? It's like it's still frustrating to try to, like when I do get in the car and people, I'm like, no, that's not what I'm. It's not what I'm going for. I want to listen to Nick and Presley and like embrace and I get sometimes there are very like local type deals where you might not know. I get like if you're a Texas artist singing a lot about Texas, I could see why people would be like, this doesn't resonate with me, but
well, it works.
Yeah, right.
It works around here for sure.
Yeah,
and I have a good time with that stuff, but like, we can only do what we know how to do.
Yeah.
So.
But I definitely dig it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on. And
heck yeah.
I hope people, listen to this and listen to your music because it's great, and I love you and Presley. You guys do it sound. It's very reminiscent. I love when Caton and Cleto duet.
Oh yeah.
And
they're icons around here.
Yeah. It's cool when you know like the story of that there is a there is a relationship, because it's funny is I somebody said something about the Flatland song Life Where We Work Out. I was like, oh, that's Caitlin, his wife. And they're like, oh, I didn't know they were thinking. Because I showed them a picture, and they're like, oh, I thought that was somebody you dated. I was like, no. I said, that's me, Caitlin, and her husband. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just a picture. I was like, I sure is.
That's funny, man. Heck
But yeah, dude, I do appreciate you coming on, and it was good talking to you.
I really appreciate you had me on. I really enjoyed getting to talk with you and getting to know you. You know, that's pretty cool. Maybe one day we'll be able to come up to Delaware. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, that's my dream. Make everybody famous enough so I don't have to go anywhere. Just in
There
town.
you go. There you go. I like it. I like it.
Bring Texas to the Northeast.
There it is. I like
Yeah.
that too. I like that idea.
Yeah, or hey, since I've been doing this, the LJ always LJT, come on down, and I'm like, yeah, it's easy for you, but yeah, maybe one day.
Well, I hope so, man. I'm sure we can. It'd be cool. Maybe we can get you hooked up, do like a live podcast out there.
Yeah, dude, that actually, we're actually trying to put something together for another festival. That would be really cool. And just have people sit down and.
Oh, they'd welcome you in with open arms, man. I know that.
Post-ring interview.
Heck yeah.
You just played main stage. How do you feel? I would like to thank. I'm not thanking them,
Doing shots.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I really appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, yours as well. I know how valuable a musician's time is, so I do appreciate taking time out of your day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cook some dinner and maybe go to bed early. We had to be in the studio tomorrow, so need to get some sleep.
Yeah. You're well rested. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. And tell everybody I said hi.
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. And yeah, you have a good night, and laugh yourself to sleep. Put some Step Brothers on.
We'll do that. I think we're gonna watch Righteous Gemstones. Get caught up with that. So
There you go.
all right, man. Well, you have a good evening.
You too, man. Thank you. I'll talk to you.